do you feel that you lost your sense of identity as a stay-home mother?
My language was affected in a way where every day I'm speaking
Baby language,
simple English, right? Then suddenly they're talking to me about work. I cannot find the words to suddenly talk to them about work. And I felt a bit of an inferiority.
Yeah.
Like my colleagues were like, you never cry when you come back to work? I'm like, no, I am very happy to come back to work. I felt so refreshed because I finally had to work on myself.
Mommy's on the move.
Hello. Oh my god, so sorry. Delayed for 30 minutes.
No, it's okay.
The camera's here. Hi, give your heart. Oh, thank you. Hi guys, this is Deborah.
Hi.
She is my primary
Your brother's
friend.
Yeah, your primary school friend.
My
your
brother's friend.
My sister's friend.
Yeah. So like a lot of different linkages. But yes, now we are friends.
We have become friends through being mothers.
So I think when I was pregnant with Esme, I think I asked you a lot of things also. Asked her how it was like. That's why I decided to invite her to the podcast today to actually talk about some of the challenges that she went through lah. For context, Deborah stayed home for 2 years before she came back to work again. So I was very curious because what are some of the decisions or like what are some of the thought process they have to go through to actually decide that okay, I want to be a stay-home mom. And then when I've already been a stay-home mom for 2 years, sometimes the inertia to go back to the workforce is quite big lah. Maybe you can walk us through your thought process.
At that time, Levi was about 8 months and I had just transited to a new job.
So you were still working when you delivered and then you had like
Yes, so I took my 4 months maternity leave, and then I actually came back to my previous job.
Yeah.
And then shortly after I changed job because I kind of just felt like I was stagnant, so I wanted to do more. Just nice, the opportunity came through when someone offered me this job.
The next one.
Yeah, the next one. Then I was like, okay, then let me try lah. And I was only in that job for about 4 to 5 months. Because only a 3-man team, by the way.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was the only ops person, so I was managing everything.
Yeah.
And it got quite intense, especially with me being a new mom. So my mental space was everywhere. I just felt like it was a pivotal step for me because I think in that moment I decided to choose my son and myself. I just felt like it wasn't going to be healthy for both me and my child.
Yes.
But somehow being a mother gave me that push.
Actually, you cannot explain one, right? You naturally just want to choose a kid, right?
No, somehow when you choose your kid,
Yeah.
you just learn to choose yourself. But also because I think naturally me and Malcolm also Malcolm is my husband. We are traditional female man woman role. So he is very good at what he does, which is really to go out and do his work and hunt and bring the money. Well, I'm very good at nurturing and taking care of the home. So we fell very naturally into that role.
That's nice.
And that's why it also felt natural for me to just stay home and take care while he can really focus on his work. Then he don't have to think so much about the home. But then, even though it was a good arrangement, life will still be life. You'll still have issues with parenting. You'll still have issues with your in-laws. Life is life. And so it was still very, what's the word? It was tough, tiring for sure, isolating, draining. And I felt like in those 2 years, I really gave him everything that I had.
When you were staying home, right, for that 2 years, actually, do you have much contact with the outside world?
To be honest, no.
Yeah, it was really just you and your child.
Yes, and even when my friends came over to my place.
How do you feel at the point of time? Because, I mean, in the initial phase was you decided to give up your career for your child because you felt like it was needed. You felt like the right thing to do. But then eventually when you stay home, every day you're just facing your kid, right? I think you're bound to feel a certain kind of emotion. You feel alone. And you'll feel like, wow, is it worth or not? Have you ever felt this kind of emotions when you were staying home?
At that point of time, right, honestly, I didn't question whether it was worth it or not. I just did it because I felt like I wanted to do it. I believe that being at home and really just spending time with him, just being present, giving to him was the best source of nourishment for him.
Yeah.
And so I really didn't question it at all. It was only when I started burning out that in hindsight, I started realizing that perhaps I should have paced myself. The picture was really like that lah. Like I barely really left the house. I really spent morning to evening with him. And then Malcolm only comes back from reach home and like 7 plus 8.
Yeah.
And then Levi sleeps at 9:30. So it's like you only have that little time to spend, and then for me it's like I only get that help in the last 30 minutes or 1 hour. And even then, sometimes he finish his food already, he just sit on the sofa and he wants to relax after a day of work, right?
It's too tired also.
Exactly. While I feel like I wanted a bit more support, I didn't feel like I should have asked for it because he's also tired, so I didn't. That is one thing I meant about pacing myself, which is if I needed help, I should have just said it.
Yes, communication, right?
Yes. I think I was just, first child, so you're just very worried. You don't trust people with your child.
You kind of want to be hands-on for everything.
Yes.
Your first child.
And so
I get what you mean.
And so I was a little bit scared to pass to my husband also.
Especially you take care of your child day and night, right?
Yes.
Then you also don't really know how your husband will handle.
Exactly. And there was one thing that always came out in our fights where Malcolm was like, why you cannot trust me? Then I said, yeah, but to be fair to me, I spend the whole day with him and I see when you come home, you are fumbling. So then how do I trust you? And it's not because I don't trust you as a person. It's just because it's like experience.
It's like
experience.
How to say? It's like you are too overprotective with your own kid.
Yeah, but no, but also it's very fair. It's like work experience. Like you trust somebody to do something that this person has no experience in there. Like that's how we find people in the workplace, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I meant by when I pace myself, I should have also. It's not as easy to say, oh, let go, but it's more of like you can progressively trust somebody also. Like you do small things before you do the big things, but you don't even think about doing that in that moment.
At the end of the day, you felt burnout because you didn't ask for help, right? And there wasn't a lot of communication going on between husband and wife as well. Because in raising a kid, right, you need two parties to play their parts, right? I think it's the same for my in-laws and my own parents also. Because now I'm working, right? In fact, like I only took 2 months maternity, then I came back to work already. So I have to leave Esme with my mum, and then at night sometimes with my in-laws. Initially, it was very hard for me to accept the help. I would just keep thinking like, well, I'm not a good mother because I'm leaving her in the hands of
someone else.
And right, modern mothers and like us, like for example, and our parents, there's a gap one. Right, we learn a lot of things. Then we will go research, then we will go classes, and then this one cannot, that one cannot. For example, babies are not supposed to drink water. Right? But our parents' generation just like, what do you mean cannot drink water? I feed you water when you were growing up. Yeah, so like things like that, right? But I will just, so what happened, or what I did was I just tell them whatever I can. Because I can't be there to enforce.
Yes.
Yeah, then I just say, okay lah, you know this is what I say. I hope you respect me as my parents. Whether you all want to do it or not, I cannot control. Yeah, but so I just leave it and then I just talk. That's how I gradually learned to accept their help lah. So when you are talking about pacing yourself and when you are explaining your situation just now, right? I try to put myself in your shoes, right? I think it's very tiring. I think it is quite suffocating also. Especially when you're shouldering all these things yourself.
Yeah.
It really takes a kampong to raise a kid. And you have experienced that. At which point, like when he was 1 or something, that's when you start to think
actually,
like, okay, maybe time to stop.
No, actually I didn't realize my burnout until this year when he is 2 already.
Do you feel that you lost your sense of identity as a stay-home mother?
Yes, I think I micro started to feel it. Because after a while, when Levi doesn't need me to be there so much anymore, then I start to integrate myself back into my friends. So I start to go out.
Okay.
And then that's when my friends are talking about their work. And then I feel my language was affected in a way where every day I'm speaking
baby language,
simple English, right? Then suddenly they're talking to me about work. I cannot find the words to suddenly talk to them about work. And I felt a bit of an inferiority.
Yeah.
I think that's when it first started. When I was like, I suddenly don't have the words. I sound so stupid. Like I don't know what I'm saying. I think that's what I felt.
Oh, that is something that is very new to me. Like, I have never realized it until you put it that way. So what arrangement happened, like, because you were 24/7 taking care of Levi, right? Then now you suddenly go back to work, like in March. What kind of arrangement do you all have?
Okay, so initially when I was a stay-home mom for 2 years, I would take Levi from Monday to about Friday, and then my in-laws will help me over the weekends. Then when I started work in March, he was with us because me and Malcolm were adamant about having Levi sleep, like go to school, come back home, because we felt like it was right lah. Like a kid should stay with the parents. So we tried it, and his school was at downtown east, so it is about a 30-minute commute from my house to his school. And basically after trying it for a couple of months, we realized that everybody was tired. Not just me, not just Malcolm, my helper also was very tired. At that point, we were still applying for other schools because we were feeling like this is not the best arrangement. Moreover, Levi was always getting sick. After those few months where we were struggling so much, we got the call from the school that was below my mother-in-law's block. So that's why we decided, okay, let's try. So initially me and Malcolm were still a bit like hesitant. We were like, okay, we try and then see how. Now the arrangement is Monday to Friday afternoons, he's at my in-law's place. Then he comes back and spend time with us on the weekend. It was hard for us to accept it at first. As we accepted it, we
realized it's the perfect plan.
Yeah, it's the perfect plan because when we work, we get to be 100% at work, and then when we are with him, we are 100% with him. Like we don't mix those two, and the brain can compartmentalize, and therefore we show up.
Do you miss him a lot when you guys first started this arrangement?
To be very honest with you, no. Because for me, it's because I spend so much time with him that when I finally let go, I was like, wow, a breath of fresh air. Like my colleagues were like, you never cry when you come back to work? I'm like, no. I am very happy to come back to work. I felt so refreshed because I finally get to work on myself. And I get to, I don't know, like I've been so focused on helping him learn. Now I actually get to
help
pour into myself. And it felt refreshing actually.
Wow, I think that's a very good, very courageous way to say it. But also because you have been for 2 years, you were drilling into, and you're drilling into your all your emotions, everything into him, right? And it's really just you and him for the past 2 years. So that's also the reason why you felt the way you did. I think it's justifiable. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. This arrangement has been done since March, has been going on since March, right? So it has been a good 6 months. So do you feel like the values are being diluted?
I think I felt it more in the beginning when my mother-in-law was also very excited to have her first grandchild, and so she wanted to buy everything, buy clothes, buy water bottles. And I was like, wait, but I also want to buy first. So I don't know, I just felt you as a new mom, you feel so threatened, like, why you want to do so many things for my child, you know? Yeah, so in the beginning we had a bit of those conversations. It wasn't too intense, it was quite nice. My mother-in-law was quite open, also because she is a mother herself, so she also has her mother-in-law, so I think she understood it. And then after a while we just naturally had a rhythm. As Levi aged, then Malcolm knows how to deal better with him. I could see how Levi started to depend a bit more on him, then I can let go.
So do you feel like you gained back your sense of identity after going back to work?
Yes, for sure.
So what will be the difference of the Deborah before Levi, after staying home with Levi, and now going back to work again? So I just want to know what changed and what didn't.
The Deborah before having kids was a bit idealistic, never wanting to make a mistake, not knowing how to do things progressively, or rather respecting progression, very outcome focused. While having a kid, I was struggling with those things.
Struggling with the things you thought were strengths, in a sense.
Yes. After becoming a parent, I think the word that comes to mind is forgiving. How did I learn forgiveness was through having the child and realizing that no matter how much you push your child to achieve an outcome, you just cannot.
Well, it's a learning journey, motherhood. You learn how to be a mother, but at the same time, you yourself as a person grow so much. So whenever people ask me, Chin, how's motherhood? I always reply them this: it's tiring but fulfilling. Do you have a different phrase right now after 2 years of being a mom?
if you are very intentional about parenting, it is fulfilling in a way where it starts to change you as a person also. And that's the part where it cannot be explained in words. You can use words to describe like, it's fulfilling because, you know, I can see my child learning new things through me. That one you can use words. But I feel the part where you cannot explain through words is if you really choose to do it very intentionally, you start to see change in yourself as an adult. And if you're willing to accept that change, how much of a growth you experience as a person and as an individual that will actually empower you as an adult also. Yeah, and I think that's something that cannot be explained through words until you have your own kid.
It's like a second round of learning again after you give birth and after you become a mom. I think you've really been through a lot, right? So I mean, for context, we actually had a call before this just to realign what we want to talk about. What happened is that when she was pregnant, we were also moving house.
Yes.
Right?
I was going through renovation.
And then Malcolm had job changes.
Yeah.
So many things were coming onto you guys so fast at one point in time. I thought that it's very admirable that you were able to tank through all these things.
Thank you. No, I'm laughing because like, yeah, it's true. We really did go through a lot, which actually a lot of friends my age
Don't, right?
go through, and that's part of
Because-
the struggle.
Yeah, at the point of time when you gave birth, I think you were probably the only one who was pregnant your age in your friend group.
Yes.
Do you feel alone back then?
Very isolated because nobody understand what.
So how do you deal with it?
I don't know if I ever dealt with it. I just mother lor.
You didn't have time to think about it, right?
Yeah, I didn't have time. I don't screw up as a mother.
So because of what happened back then, did it cause you any like scarring or like traumatic experience or having? Would you want to have a second kid?
Oh, that was one of the things that old me would have wanted, which was 2 kids. Like in my dream, I was always to have 2 kids. But after this episode, I've put the idea of having a second kid in the back for a bit.
So there's still a chance.
Yeah, I mean, because it's always been a dream, so I don't know if I'm willing to let go of the dream yet. But as of the like when I first went back to my job, I told my boss I may have a second child. I tell you first. I might just leave. Then halfway through when I started working, I was like, maybe I don't mind not having a second kid for now. Yeah, like I can
Put it off.
put it off. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
If I were you, having been through all those things, I might have just like say no to another kid. So mentally draining.
It is lah. It is.
And I think amidst all those, maybe I would have lost myself also. I'll be like, hey, who am I? I'm just Esme's mom. Then outside of the house, I no longer have another sense of identity. I'm just like, oh, without Esme, I'm nothing. I mean, I might have felt that way lah at that point of time because I wasn't interacting with anyone else, right? It was just me, myself, and my baby. Even my husband also, because corporate hours is like you only come home by 8, then your baby's already asleep. You'll probably be too tired to do anything then also. So you all barely also have time to interact.
Yeah, which is then we come back, both of us tired, then we also don't want to talk to each other, then we do our own things. Yeah.
Did you put a strain on your marriage?
For sure.
So contrary to what a lot of people think that, having a kid, the family will be closer, right? In a sense, sometimes when we don't have proper communication, it can backfire and put a strain on the marriage instead. So how do you walk out of it?
Because Malcolm is a very corporate kind of person, right?
Yeah.
And if there's too many emotions in the picture, he just cannot make sense of it. So then I did a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my god, you did?
I did a PowerPoint presentation for him about what connection is and how we can connect better and action steps and
that's quite cute eh?
Yeah, so like at the end of the presentation there was what is connection, why is it important, and six small little micro steps that we can do to have a little bit of change to make things better lah. That was also when I had a bit more space, when Levi was a bit grown up already. He stopped depending on me so much. Then I got time to sit down on my laptop when he's not crying for me every minute, right? Yeah, so it took a while. So I think the advice here is to be patient, because sometimes it might feel And when I say patient, I mean like be patient. Everybody needs to be patient, and be patient in the marriage also, which is very important, because whatever you're struggling with in the first 2 years, it is a real struggle. But to have trust, faith, and patience that everybody will find a rhythm, and the marriage also has to find a rhythm, I feel.
Give it time.
Give it time. Like, don't be daunted by like the current fights that you're having, and be like, oh, this
is not gonna work
It's
out.
not gonna work out. Yeah, just because he's not seeing eye to eye with me and my parenting. And this is also something that my colleague told me. She said in the first 2 years of her having kids also, she was so sure she wanted to divorce. Yeah. But then after that, now her kids are 11 years old, and she's like, she just needed to give it a bit of time for everybody to find a rhythm.
Yeah, I think mainly I was just curious about your entire journey from, working mom, then kind of stay home, and then go back to work again. I think going back to work again is something that's very different from what I've heard from other mothers so far. But also because maybe it's different life stage. Okay, so most of the mothers I've heard from, right, is they have a baby, after maternity they go back to work.
Yes.
So when you're going back to work, they had a lot of mom's guilt. They felt insecure. They felt like, wow, I cannot leave my child behind with whoever who's taking care of my child, because I feel like I'm the best caretaker for him or her. Right? And then when I go back to work, it's like I'm choosing my career over my kid. So I feel bad, because I could have been
the milestone.
Yeah, I'm missing out on the milestones. I could have been spending more time with my kid, but I'm not. So there's a lot of mother's guilt going on at the back of their heads when I speak to newly minted mothers. Which was why you probably took 2 years to stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually you can see that it's a very contrasting perspective compared to someone who just give birth and going back to work. Do you think there's balance instead of such extreme cases? Like now when you go back to work, you're just happy.
But one might feel like it's extreme that I took 2 years off, then I come back to work, it's extreme. I don't know, people might feel like it's extreme. But for me, I feel like you do something 100%. Like there is advantages in focusing on just one thing, rather than you try to dip your, what is the term? You dip your fingers in a lot of, I don't know, like
possible, no.
Yeah, just in the corporate world they say like, oh, you work-life balance or whatever, but can you really balance? Cannot really balance.
You look like it's work-life balance, but your brain is not work-life balance. Your brain is like not switched off on.
Exactly. So I do see the perks in doing this, in which I really devoted to him fully, and then now that I'm at work, I can devote to him. But even when I devoted my time fully, there is still a level of skill that you need to have to progressively transition him to get used to not being with me also, because he has to go through that. And that was something that was very intentional also. I like brought him down daily. I was afraid he'll be lagging behind. Like all his friends can socialize or whatever, and then he may not be able to assimilate so well. And so I brought him down every day to go and play with the kids at the playground and get him used to just
things that mothers do. Thanks so much for sharing. Is there a tip that you want to share with mothers out there?
My tip is to go for a holiday by yourself without your husband and without your kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Ask me why.
Yeah.
The reason is, if you find it difficult to let go and to trust, sometimes you just outside of mind. Just trust that they can handle, and people will rise to the occasion. Honestly, yeah.
Especially when the kid is theirs, right? When it's their own guru. Guru means how to say
Flesh and blood.
Yeah, own blood and flesh. They will definitely rise up to the occasion. You recently went for a solo trip, is it?
Yes, with the company, and that was the very first time I traveled. Because before that, I was thinking like, no, I cannot leave my child. I have to be at home. And then the company forced you to go on a trip, so then you have to go for a trip, right?
Yeah.
And then when I went for the trip, I was like,
wow.
Oh wow. Like, firstly, I felt like, wow, I feel so free. Like, suddenly my brain can be empty. Like, I don't have to think. Like, I don't know what it felt like for my brain to be empty.
Right.
Like, not having to think about the kid. And then secondly, my husband validated me. He was like, oh, now I understand what you're going through. Oh, finally.
That was also a point of disagreement a lot of times, right? During the 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
where he's not at home to understand, then cannot validate me, then I cannot complain also because he's so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And then he will naturally think that, oh, I'm out there working, then you're always at home, then you shouldn't be as tired as me.
yeah,
Nonsense. Have you tried taking care of a kid yourself the entire day or not?
yeah, or just feeling like our role is not as important to society because we don't bring in money.
Wow, you have
I think
no
that's
idea.
a very valid. Like people do think
Correct.
that way. Yeah.
But I mean, thankfully, I think more and more people are starting to acknowledge the fact that mothers are not an easy role to take on. In fact, I think it can be even more demanding than
Then an actual job.
than an actual job.
I do feel that way actually.
Yeah.
That is harder to be
A mother. I actually do feel that way too when I'm out working. I'm like, okay, mommy, you can take care of everything. Not that I don't love her lah, but it's just like,
It's tiring. No?
yeah, it is.
It is tiring. That's just
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
But fulfilling. Yeah, so thanks so much for coming on board
No problem.
and
Thank you.
taking my car. I managed to deliver you in one piece.
Oh, yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah. Thank
Say bye. Bye.